In the heart of the city, there's a lady so divine, with a gift so rare she can read between the lines, unlocking mysteries. She's the one we all admire. With a touch of magic, she sets our souls on fire. From psychic readings to rosemary oil so pure, her spirit shines bright. Of that I am sure. On TV she graces the screen with grace. Her presence is a blessing in every time and place. Pop culture psychic, in tune with the stars. She sees beyond the veil, even beyond Mars. And when the night falls, Tracy after dark, her wisdom illuminates like a powerful spark. So if you seek guidance, look no further than her door. Tracy Brown live where wisdom does soar. Through the realms of the unseen, she'll light your way. With every word she speaks, darkness turns to day. Tracy Brown live, the beacon of light, guiding us through the shadows of night. Her voice like a melody, so pure and strong. In her presence, we know we belong. From psychic readings to rosemary oil so pure, her spirit shines bright. Of that I am sure. On TV, she graces the screen with grace. Her presence is a blessing in every time and place. Pop culture psychic, in tune with the stars. She sees beyond the veil, even beyond Mars. And when the night falls, Tracy after dark, her wisdom illuminates like a powerful spark. So if you seek guidance, look no further than her door. Tracy Brown live where wisdom does soar. Through the realms of the unseen, she'll light your way. With every word she speaks, darkness turns to day. Tracy Brown live, the beacon of light, guiding us through the shadows of night. Her voice like a melody, so pure and strong. In her presence, we know we belong. Tracy Brown live, the beacon of light, guiding us through the shadows of night. Her voice like a melody, so pure and strong. In her presence, we know we belong.
Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you today? Let's go ahead and bring down the mean girls. Lord have mercy. Now, I'm going to be really honest, as I always am. I don't follow these two bitches. I don't follow them. I am watching Taylor Swift and Kelsey, but as I predicted they're never getting married. I predicted that this is. So now the wedding's postponed because Kelsey's inside his feelings and he doesn't know if he should retire. That's not the reason why, bitches. That's not the reason why, right? The reason is one, they didn't make the announcement until his mama uh, uh, series aired on the Traders. I kept saying, I know this name, Kelsey. Why do I know this name, Kelsey? The minute she got kicked off, I mean, the ink wasn't even dried for us to figure out who this woman was I would have loved to have seen her play the game a little longer, but apparently there's ageism on traders. Why is this happening to me? I've got this string that is like now, Bob. Oh, I could just put it up here. Okay. It's all about ageism on traders. They don't like old people. Michael Rappaport, he went and called out a gay slur, which I don't believe he did, but ruined his career. I hate Michael Rappaport. So I'm so glad he made that mistake. Um, the minute Mama got kicked off the show, Taylor and her bum ass son, which he's not a bum, but come on, for entertainment purposes only. Um, I love you, Mama Kelsey. Like, I love you. But you know this relationship is fake. Oh, you know, Mama Kelsey. With all that being said, he's got to retire. I don't know what I'm going to do because I got to retire and I can't think about marriage. Bitch, that's why you retire. You retire and you plan your stupid wedding to very bossy, mean girl Taylor Swift. But that's not the only reason. I think Taylor knew this shit was coming down. And I think the association to Taylor would make Kelsey look bad because the NFL cannot stand to have a good old white boy not look good. They can't stand it. And NFL loves Taylor. They love her. But now this scandal, ooh, it's a problem for Taylor Swift. The Swifties got a problem. I'd like to see how your next concert go, Missy Miss. Getting all involved. And you know what's the funny part is? I'm not really getting that her and Blake Lively are friends. Oh my God, Charm. I just saw what you said. I'm not sure. Oh, by the way, Charm, I saw your segment on Unk. It was a good segment. You're the only one that explained it in details. Good, 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 good. You did good. It's a good job. Um, you did a good job. Did a good job. Um, I'm not sure they were friends. I think they're just mean girl bitches. And if you've ever been in high school, which most of us has been, and there's always a group of mean girls, always. And sometimes they're just mean to be mean. They're friends just to be mean, right? What's wrong with my hair? Oh, I took it out to twist it. What the hell's going on here? All right, it's fine. So that's what I think. Taylor Swift didn't go to finish high school. So I don't think she got out the mean girl like thing in her. Remember, she had to start out like this Pollyanna, prissy, flowery girl with guitar. And I love you so much. And the little 10-year-olds were like, oh my God. When really she wanted to say, fuck you, little girls. You make me sick to my stomach. I don't know if she wanted to say that. I'm exaggerating, but she looks like she wanted to say that because where is this personality coming from? It would have to already had been in her. Kim Kardashian exposed her years ago. What did Kim say? And you're right. Kanye tried to. But oh, he lost his career over that little white girl. Lost his career. But Kanye is a little crazy. Mean girls never grow up. They run rampant in the work. Yes, oh, the workplace. The hospitals are overrun via mean girls. A place like that is for healing and restoring. Yeah, well, I used to work in a hospital. And God would never, one, He would never put me back in a hospital again. And two, I have to tell you, By the time I left, um, I hated all nurses, hated them, never believed in them once I left the hospital. And it took me years to recover. I'm a recovering hospital worker working around mean girls, dead ass. And there were no black mean girls. I only had um, Philippine mean and white mean girls. That's all I had. Because I started out in HR, so we had to recruit the Philippine nurses in. But Philippine nurses start out humble and then end up very arrogant and entitled, like most people do when they start to make money. It's very common. But when you're in this and you're hiring them, and then because I was hiring them from HR, but then I wound up working on the nursing floor, and I remember hiring very humble people and people of gratitude. And 2 years in, they were bitches. And Philippines stick together, white folks stick together was a nightmare. And here I was, the black manager on the floor, and I had it rough. I had it very rough. But, it taught me to have a backbone, and I cussed most of them motherfuckers out. Early in my career, I've been cussing people out. Let's have a meeting. Because I had HR experience, so I knew how to conduct myself in a meeting. So I would just always be pulling them damn nurses aside. Let's have a meeting. Let me know when you're done with your patient. Ream them bitches. Have mercy, Lord of my soul. So I believe you when you say mean girls never grow up. Oh, I have crickets. They're here all the time. Tracy, why I thought I had crickets in my house or whatever is chirping, laugh out loud. What is that? Crickets. Crickets. Sometimes they get in, but right now I think they're at the base of the window. Either that or it's somebody said it might be sciaticas, sciatas, something like that. Isn't that like an overgrown cockroach that makes a weird buzzing sound? And then I checked it up. We do have them on the island, so I think it's a cicadas, something like that. They recorded her. Recorded who? Good health, 1D. Good health, sweetie. Blake's character. Why am I not getting you? What's happening here? All right. Let's get to new comments. Uh, they recorded who? Good health, 1D. Blake's character on Gossip Girl was actually nice. I guess art does not always imitate life. You're a good actress, that's all. Hi, Melissa. Crickets are good luck. I know they are. Well, let me tell you something. What did I call them? Sciaticas? They must be good luck too, because they fucking like at least 3 nights a week. I should look them up. What do they call? Um, Remember we had an invasion of them in 2 years ago, and everybody was covered in it. All the workers that worked outside, they were like covered in roaches. They look like roaches. What do they call sciaticas? Cicadas, cicadas, something like that. Cicadas. Let me see if these bitches are good luck. Let me check. And now they're all quiet. Did you see them? Did you hear them get quiet? It's weird. Everything is so weird. I'm going to put the spiritual meaning behind cicadas. That's what it is. Rebirth, transformation, immortality. Um, the dramatic emergence from Earth at the year's underground. Right. Remember, that's the bug. Shedding their skin to become winged adults. Representing new life and change. Oh, with culture seeing them as signs of renewal, good fortune, purity, and even prophecy. Uh-oh, I like the prophecy part. They are seen as markers for personal growth, cyclical time, and a connection to the divine or ancestral realm. I like that part. All right, not so bad either. Now look, they got all quiet. I started talking about them, and they're like, "Damn, she's talking about us." I don't know. Kim Kardashian recorded Taylor Swift lying. She claimed she didn't give. I remember that. She claimed she didn't give Kanye permission to use her image in a video, and she did give him permission, and she recorded the phone call. I remember that. So now this is the second time we're catching that little lying bitch. Hey, you know that song, "Shake It Off"? She created that song because of me. Because I've been doing videos on Taylor Swift for years, and I never, ever liked her. Ever. I don't know if I ever said that, but now I can say I don't like her because she's just a fucking mean girl. But one day I said in one of my videos, I said, and this is coming true again. I said she can never keep a man. And then right after I said that, one of the phrases in the song is, "Some people say I can't keep a man. Shake it off, shake it off." I was like, "Oh, look at me helping her and sell a $1 million song." Mhm. She's really good at making songs in real time. Like lyrically, she's really, really good at that, which is how I know the song Canceled is for Blake Lively, because these two mean bitches ain't friends anymore. And I think it's because of this lawsuit. Hmm. And Cancel is to her friend Blake Lively. She's always been a mean girl. Kanye did make her famous, and Kanye's kind of stupid, so let's give him all the credit for that. But I don't know. I think she would have been famous anyways. I think her marketing people market her to the T. They marketed her to the T, and there was no one like her on the scene. So she was prime picking to be famous. Taylor using rich privilege right across every board. Taylor throw anyone under the bus if her brand is in jeopardy. Well, let's see what she does now, because she also looks like the type to me. I didn't highlight that, but I hear you. She also looks like the type to me that has complete and utter meltdowns. Remember, she's a Sagittarius. So she looks like she has complete and utter meltdowns. Now, Sagittarians don't get sensitive on me, but I had a Sagittarian mom, I have a Sagittarian cousin, and I've only seen that part of a Sagittarian, the shadow part where they have complete and utter meltdowns over nothing, like nothing. And it's uncomfortable because you just never know, like from one minute to the next. Like you could be having a great time at the family barbecue, and the joke was always, "Oh, here comes so and so," and then you'd be like, "Everything will be fine." Like, don't start none, won't be none. That means y'all got to stay in control too. But usually, no one needed to do anything. It was cackle, 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 and then it was a full blown Sagittarian argument. And that would either come from my mom or my cousin. And we just never knew, like, why. So, if I go by the Sagittarian nature that I know, all right, which is an unhealthy generational issue, um, they have complete and other meltdowns. Now, because she is spoiled, I'm pretty confident she has meltdowns and nobody could console her. And I feel like she's ripping pillows apart and calling the pillows a bitch, you bitch, you bitch. And she's like pulling the pillows apart. It must be so much comedy. I never worry about anybody being a practicing witch because I'm a witch, you know? So I hate to look on that word badly. And if she's using her witch work to make herself famous, then she better work her witchness to get out of this mess. Because this mess is, I don't think it's going to work well for her concert. Which will we will check. Well, that's what you're saying. When you're saying witch, and I never see the word witch as a bad word, but you're saying she probably uses shadow magic. And I believe you. I could see that. She's probably got a few puppet dolls with people's names on them. I think so. She does a lot of evil stuff and she acts like she's such a good person. Yeah, I really feel that. The girl is nearing 40. Well, she doesn't act it. And her image is like a 12-year-old. It's weird. Yeah, she doesn't act. She's nearing 40. She looks good. Let's give her some credit. If she's 40, then she looks amazing. All right, let's look at some videos that I have. They all kind of say the same thing, I guess. I don't know. Let's take a look at some videos. Let's do this. Okay, and let's do this.
So, in the leaked text messages, Taylor refers to Justin Baldoni as a little bee, and he's going to get out his tiny violin. Well, why is that relevant? It is relevant because I called it here. I clocked it months ago. I said that song is about Blake Lively. And now all like the Easter eggs fit together, right? She's wearing Blake's like matching jewelry in one of the press shots. She said the tiny violin line, and then
Let's start over.
so in the leaked text messages, Taylor refers to Justin Baldoni as a little bee, and he's going to get out his tiny violin. Well, why is that relevant? It is relevant because I called it here. I clocked it months ago. I said that song is about Blake Lively. And now all like the Easter eggs fit together, right? She's wearing Blake's like matching jewelry in one of the press shots. She said the tiny violin line, and then that line winds up in the lyrics of Canceled. And then she was wearing another coordinating outfit with Blake Lively. So part of me thinks they are still friends, although it'll be interesting if Taylor has to get further exposed here. But what we can definitely see is these two were ganging up on Justin. And I find it so weird because like Taylor functionally, aside from having her music licensed, had nothing to do with the movie. So like, what do you mean you're creatively weighing in here? So all this does is really paint Taylor Swift as a mean girl. Drop me a comment on what you think, but this is not good.
Right here, let me bring this back up. Do you see this fuzz? This is fuzz without gel. This is natural fuzz without gel on this side because I shave off this side. But look, even when I shave it off, it just comes back. This is my hair oil bringing back my edges. Yep. You all should buy my hair oil just for the edges alone because it will bring back your edges. Yep. On God. So that's the hair oil. And this is the website, tracybrownlive.com. See that fuzz? Now, if I had the gel, I would be able to make the baby designs. I never had baby hair until I started to put the gel in, the rosemary growth oil with biotin. All right, what are you guys saying? So many of these music performers have severe arrested development. That's true. Taylor, Nikki, Drake. So true. She's 36. All right, let's give her some grace. That's not 40. The 36-year-olds, what is that group? What are they called? They ain't growing up. They're very immature. That's this group here? My son is 38. Like, even though he's married with children, there's still like this thing where this generation ain't growing up. What are they called? Are they the millennials? And they're so proud to be millennials. I'm a millennial. And it's like, shut up. So many. Okay. But yeah, I think it's reasonable for this age group. So she's on par with her looks. She does look in her mid 30s, but you know, I think she looks like 6 years younger. I think she could pass for 30. Seriously. You know, I'm not going to lie on anyone. She is juvie, very juvie. Oh my God. She is. All right. Get my hair oil, guys. All right.
Rumors are true, and after my 70-plus part series on the Lively versus Baldoni, it feels really good to have been right all along. Newly revealed text messages are just as bad as we all imagined, because they don't just prove that Blake was trying to take over the movie, but that Taylor was actively helping her. And the reason they're best friends is because they love being mean girls together. In one text, Blake calls Justin Baldoni the doofus director of the movie, and asks Taylor to sign off on her version of the movie. And of course, Blake says Taylor doesn't actually have to read it, and Taylor responds with, "I'll do anything for you." Just let that sink in for you, because a couple of months ago, Taylor Swift was claiming that she had nothing to do with this movie at all. It is proven in the test that they do indeed meet up, and Taylor signs off on her version. And of course, she wasn't just talking down about Justin to Taylor. She was also talking smack to Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. In one text to Ben Affleck, she wrote, "Ended up rewriting and restructuring the entire script. I also had to direct the movie through a chaotic clown, the director, actor, producer, financer, and studio head at the center." Meanwhile, we've been seeing the same consistent thing from Baldoni, saying that Lively has been trying to take over this movie. Now we have the proof to back it up, because one of the most revealing texts came from Taylor Swift herself. She wrote, "If Justin was strategic, he would keep Taylor Swift out of the trailer. That gives you more power over the film. That's your ally, not his." And this is when it all just kind of clicks. This was never about creative differences. While Baldoni was trying to create the project he envisioned, he owns the rights of, all Blake wanted was power, control, and clout. This is just a tiny snippet of the great unsealing, so stay tuned.
So, Tom, help me before I go any further. I'm trying to figure out what happened. So I get that Baldoni directed some movie. Somehow Blake got hired. Did he want Blake? One. And two, how did we get to the lawsuit? Did she wind up kicking him out the movie? And that's why there became a lawsuit. Are we currently going in the lawsuit right now? And everything about these texts are discovery? Also, did they subpoena the phone company for the text messages? Like, is all of that possible? Which I think it is, but I would be really upset if a phone company was keeping all my text messages. The things you would find. So, do you know anything else? Are we currently in that space of suing? Because it really looks like, just from off the jump, Baldoni's going to win. Off the jump. And I know the movie got made already. So where are we? And who got credit for making this movie? I got so many questions. All right, next one.
All of the coverage between these two mean girls, text exchange that ends with us drama. I haven't seen anyone cover the fallout text messages between Blake and Taylor, so let's cover it. From Blake to Taylor. "Hey, just checking in. I have no reason to ask, but I don't know. I've been feeling like I should. Is everything okay? I felt like a bad friend lately because was such a sad sack who only talked about my own shit for months. I always want the opportunity to be a better friend if there's something I unintentionally did," she said. "I know how busy and taxed you are physically, emotionally, practically, so I don't expect any more from you ever. Just want to make sure all is good. An hour after Blake said that, Taylor responded. Taylor went on to say, no, you're not wrong, but it's also not a big deal. Taylor went on to say how exhausted she is in every avenue of her life. Then she says, yes, there has been a lot of this Justin stuff, but I've been through things like this before and I know how all-consuming it is. It's more like, and I feel really bad saying anything about this because your texts have been so nice in their intent, but your last few, it's felt like I was reading a mass corporate email sent to 200 employees. Taylor went on to say that Blake wasn't acting like her usual self. You said the word we like 18 times and it feels awful to be in any way critical of any way you process what you've been going through, but I just kind of miss my funny, dark, normal speaking friend who talks to me as herself, not like a plural unit, she said. When it's a group I'm hearing from, I feel distance from you even more than we are geographically. Then Taylor goes on to say, so you're feeling like you have to overly explain things or be overly nice or whatever, but it's me. That's just caused a little distance. Then Blake, being the funny, witty actress, writer, director, producer that she is, responded back to Taylor saying, dear valued customer, thank you for your feedback. We at headquarters are reviewing your concerns and we'll get back to you in a timely manner. Then she goes on to be a little more serious, saying, I literally deleted that awful thing I was going to end the bit with because I've become digitally paranoid. I don't know if you've experienced that with phone calls after what happened to you, but after thousands of text messages that weren't meant for me that I've been reading, I've internalized that everything digital may be public. So yeah, I've been texting like I'm writing, not like me talking. I didn't realize that until you pointed it out, but I see it. So mind you, these text exchange between the two happened on December 4th of 2024. It was ahead of a summary judgment hearing between Lively and Justin. Well, then Blake ends that conversation with Taylor saying, and so I'm probably being over the top with my friends who stayed because I've never felt more alone. He's referring to friends that like quietly dipped during the legal fight between her and Justin and everything going on in the press. I said very early on in my coverage of this from like a year or two ago that I knew these two were mean girls. And if you've seen the coverage of their text exchange, it's just very apparent the way they operate. They're very calculating. There will be more of this to come.
So Taylor began to realize that maybe Blake was baiting her. And it's funny how you could read somebody's text message and know exactly what they're talking about. I do that all the time. So I do believe that Taylor Swift is a witch because you could send me a text message and I already know. It doesn't mean that I'm going to respond like I know, but I'm going to be like, clock that. I want to go through that one more time because remember, she said this was before September 2024. So something was brewing. Let's go over that one. That's very important. I'm sorry to repeat this because it's 2 minutes long, but that was a juicy bit of information. Let's go. I think it was this one.
And all of the coverage between these two mean girls text exchange with that ends with us drama. I haven't seen anyone cover the fallout text messages between Blake and Taylor, so let's cover it. From Blake to Taylor. Hey, just checking in. I have no reason to ask, but I don't know. I've been feeling like I should. Is everything okay? I felt like a bad friend lately because was such a sad sack who only talked about my own shit for months. I always want the opportunity to be a better friend if there's something I unintentionally did, she said. I know how busy and taxed you are physically, emotionally, practically, so I don't expect any more from you ever. Just want to make sure all is good. An hour after Blake said that, Taylor responded. Taylor went on to say, no, you're not wrong, but it's also not a big deal. Taylor went on to say how exhausted she is in every avenue of her life. Then she says, yes, there has been a lot of this Justin stuff, but I've been through things like this before and I know how all-consuming it is. It's more like, and I feel really bad saying anything about this because your texts have been so nice in their intent, but your last few, it's felt like I was reading a mass corporate email sent to 200 employees. Taylor went on to say that Blake wasn't acting like her usual self. You said the word we like 18 times and it feels awful to be in any way critical of any way you process what you've been going through, but I just kind of miss my funny, dark, normal speaking friend who talks to me as herself, not like a plural unit, she said. When it's a group I'm hearing from, I feel distance from you even more than we are geographically. Then Taylor goes on to say, so you're feeling like you have to overly explain things or be overly nice or whatever, but it's me. That's just caused a little distance. Then Blake, being the funny, witty actress, writer, director, producer that she is, responded back to Taylor saying, dear valued customer, thank you for your feedback. We at headquarters are reviewing your concerns and we'll get back to you in a timely manner. Then she goes on to be a little more serious, saying, I literally deleted that awful thing I was going to end the bit with because I've become digitally paranoid. I don't know if you've experienced that with phone calls after what happened to you, but after thousands of text messages that weren't meant for me that I've been reading, I've internalized that everything digital may be public. So yeah, I've been texting like I'm writing, not like me talking. I didn't realize that until you pointed it out, but I see it. So mind you, these text exchange between the two happened on December 4th of 2024. It was ahead of a summary judgment hearing between Lively and Justin. Well, then Blake ends that conversation with Taylor saying, "And so I'm probably being over the top with my friends who stayed because I've never felt more alone." He's referring to friends that like quietly dipped during the legal fight between her and Justin and everything going on in the press. I said very early on in my coverage of this from like a year or two ago that I knew these two were mean girls. And if you've seen the coverage of their text exchange, it's just very apparent the way they operate. They're very calculating. There will be more of this to come.
What do you guys have to say? How did they know to look into the text messages unless Taylor released them? No, I think you can subpoena text messages, because I know that there were text messages between Justin and Blake, and the text messages were wonky at best. Like he would say, "She said this," and then she would say, "This is what I said." So the text messages weren't coordinating. So I'm wondering if all the text messages got subpoenaed, and that's how Taylor Swift got caught out there. All right, so let's go back because Charm is trying to explain something. Hi, Fake Game Checks. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please call me for your own personal reading, 213-458-7408. And please subscribe and like. If you like, then like. Okay, so let's see. In his movie, she made a false claim. She made a false claim saying he harassed her. She did all this while they were filming on the movie. Thank you, Georgia Peach. Charm says he wanted Blake because she had name recognition and fan base. She upset the film by basically extorting him. She held up production until they gave her creative control. Very interesting. Hi, Miriam Brown. Then Blake accused Justin of sexual harassment when the off-camera tape showed he did not harass her. She made him and his family go to the basement at his own premiere. Now it's coming back to me. Yes. How did they know to look into the text messages? I think they were subpoenaed because of the harassment issue, right? Because it's almost like I never said that. And then there was no real coordination in the text and the timing, like something was wonky. Justin and his lawyers put the text out between him and Blake to prove that he wasn't harassing her. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. And somehow we got to in Taylor, right? So if the text messages were, because now it's kind of making sense, because I also think from that last video where Blake was contacting Taylor before September 2024, I think Blake knew that the text messages were being subpoenaed. And I don't think she told Taylor. And that's why she had that awkward exchange with her, which was like, "How are you doing?" You know, where she's like, to me, your texts lately sound like you're talking to a corporation and not to my friend who we play, dark language with, right? And she knows she can't do that. Blake knows she can't do that, have these dark exchanges with Taylor, even if it's not about the movie, right? Because something else would come up that Taylor could inadvertently put out there, because they're so used to playing these little dark conversation games, and it would just make it would make Blake look more bad. But the thing that bothers me is that I believe Blake knew that her texts were being subpoenaed. And I don't believe she told Taylor. Listen to it one more time. I know I'm being annoying right now, but this is critical. Hold on. Listen intently.
And all of the coverage between these two mean girls text exchange with that ends with us drama. I haven't seen anyone cover the fallout text messages between Blake and Taylor, so let's cover it. From Blake to Taylor. Hey, just checking in. I have no reason to ask, but I don't know. I've been feeling like I should. Is everything okay? I felt like a bad friend lately because was such a sad sack who only talked about my own shit for months. I always want the opportunity to be a better friend if there's something I unintentionally did, she said. I know how busy and taxed you are physically, emotionally, practically, so I don't expect any more from you ever. Just want to make sure all is good. An hour after Blake said that, Taylor responded. Taylor went on to say, no, you're not wrong, but it's also not a big deal. Taylor went on to say how exhausted she is in every avenue of her life. Then she says, yes, there has been a lot of this Justin stuff, but I've been through things like this before, and I know how all-consuming it is. It's more like, and I feel really bad saying anything about this because your texts have been so nice in their intent, but your last few, it's felt like I was reading a mass corporate email sent to 200 employees. Taylor went on to say that Blake wasn't acting like her usual self. You said the word we like 18 times, and it feels awful to be in any way critical of any way you process what you've been going through, but I just kind of miss my funny, dark, normal speaking friend who talks to me as herself, not like a plural unit, she said. When it's a group I'm hearing from, I feel distance from you even more than we are geographically. Then Taylor goes on to say, so you're feeling like you have to overly explain things or be overly nice or whatever, but it's me. That's just caused a little distance. Then Blake, being the funny, witty actress, writer, director, producer that she is, responded back to Taylor saying, dear valued customer, thank you for your feedback. We at headquarters are reviewing your concerns and we'll get back to you in a timely manner. Then she goes on to be a little more serious, saying, I literally deleted that awful thing I was going to end the bit with because I've become digitally paranoid. I don't know if you've experienced that with phone calls after what happened to you, but after thousands of text messages that weren't meant for me that I've been reading, I've internalized that everything digital may be public. So yeah, I've been texting like I'm writing, not like me talking. I didn't realize that until you pointed it out, but I see it. So mind you, these text exchange between the two happened on December 4th of 2024. It was ahead of a summary judgment hearing between Lively and Justin. Well, then Blake ends that conversation with Taylor saying, and so I'm probably being over the top with my friends who stayed because I've never felt more alone. He's referring to friends that quietly dipped during the legal fight between her and Justin and everything going on in the press. I said very early on in my coverage of this from a year or two ago that I knew these two were mean girls. And if you've seen the coverage of their text exchange, it's just very apparent the way they operate. They're very calculating. There will be more of this to come.
Georgia Peach, you are hilarious. Georgia Peach is hilarious. George is like, Taylor was like, hold up, Blake. You can't scam a scammer. You can't scam a scammer. John says Blake's attorney filed motions back in early 2025 trying to prevent Taylor from being forced to testify. Oh, what if she has to testify? And don't forget her husband, Ryan, was being messy too. Yes, we're going to stay focused on the mean girls right now. Blake and Justin's phones had always been in question. Blake tried to fight having her phone and Taylor's phone subpoenaed. She's been trying to keep everything sealed. I don't know if they got Taylor's phone. I know for a fact that they got Blake's phone. I wonder if they got Taylor's phone to see if all the text messages lined up. You only need one side, right? Any case, it totally exposed these two bitches. I'm so happy. Karma. Because Taylor, you've done some mean shit, bitch. I mean, mean
Taylor
stuff.
Swift acknowledging that she's Blake Lively's dragon and that Blake Lively is Khaleesi. Yes, these are text messages just dropped in the lawsuit, the ongoing lawsuit for It Ends With Us. Let's go. Taylor Swift saying, wow, I love how they use the song. Welcome to Hollywood, Justin. Yeah, that's Taylor Swift saying that. And then Blake Lively goes, I'm not okay. I can't breathe. I'm obsessed with you. I have never felt more like Khaleesi. I have dragons, except my dragons are bred with Cersei herself. Damn, that's evil. So then Taylor Swift says, I'm just picturing you muttering, Dracarius, and then I fire off those texts to Austin. Just gonna remind you guys how Taylor Swift was saying that she felt manipulated and that she was not Blake Lively's dragon. Just one of many headlines. Then Taylor Swift is giving Blake Lively advice on how to take over this movie, okay? She says, by the way, if Justin was strategic, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer, because that gives you power over the film and that's your ally, not his. Yeah, Taylor Swift just told her how to get power over the film. Then Blake Lively says, get yourself a best friend who thinks like the actual Roman Empire. Wow, these two. And then Taylor Swift says his misogyny runs so deep he thinks women are incapable of winning chess matches or making long game power plays. So this was a long game power play. They were in cahoots for a long time. And then Blake Lively says, you are so right and so wickedly smart to call it. He should have run from your music. I never thought about that, but holy shit, how stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of an upper hand. You guys, these two monsters were in cahoots together from the beginning. Gotta say something, okay? I just gotta get it off my chest. First slight second, I felt bad for Blake Lively, but then I remembered, no, I called this way back when. I said that Taylor Swift was just trying to save her reputation, that she was in cahoots from the beginning, that they were both monsters. But then when shit hit the fan, Taylor Swift was like, oh no, I'm innocent. I was manipulated by Blake Lively. I didn't do anything. It was all Blake Lively, and everybody believed her, right? But now we see that they were in on it together, and then Taylor Swift is the one who turned her back on her friend. Yeah, they were doing evil shit together, but Taylor Swift, in my opinion, she's worse.
Saying, I called it. Every content creator called this. Everyone that I've posted, I didn't even realize the correlation, but they were like, I called this. It's been going on for 2-3 years now. So funny. I love M Blue Devil. Hi, sweetie. I love how Taylor acts like Miss Innocent whenever someone calls her out for her mean girl attitude. Anyone who disagrees with her becomes public enemy number 1. You're so right. Taylor about to make another song. Well, actually, she did make a song. That's what cancel is about. When you check the cards, can you please check to see if either one of them is going to get hit with the perjury charge? No, I'm just going to check on Taylor. I don't give a fuck about Blake. I'm just going to see if Taylor's fans are going to turn on her. I don't care if they get charged. I hope they do get charged. Taylor about to make another song. But will it sell? That's what I'm going to look at. Is she losing her base finally? Like, how do you throw away your whole career on a Blake Lively? Like, Taylor, we're your people. But I don't know. It was kind of cute to be a mean girl when you had Selena Gomez around. You fucked that relationship up. Taylor also got the person who composed the original song for the film fired. They said she didn't like him. As a result, Blake chose the new composer, which helped her get a producer credit. What? Now that person has a lawsuit. I think Taylor fans are going to ride with her because they follow her blindly. Yeah, let's not do that. You see, Nicki's fans are turning on her and they follow her blindly. Let the cards tell you what. These people are grown up now. That's the only thing that Taylor forgot, right? These people are grown. And we are looking at a MAGA world that she's a part of. Let's not get it twisted. And nobody likes MAGA anymore. And they're going to begin to like there's a whole wake up call that's happening throughout every sector. So I don't believe that they follow her blindly. I think, like Nikki, it's going to take a moment for everyone to fall. But remember, how many followers did Nikki lose to the point where she had to get off social media? Didn't she lose like 1 million, 3 million, or something like that followers? Nothing lasts forever. That's the one thing, good or bad, nothing lasts forever. So you can have all the money in the world and have a fucked up family. You know, you could be down and out and broke and come up with a beautiful idea, and boom, you're a millionaire like Super Cent was overnight, even though she didn't know how to handle being a millionaire. But it happens. You could win the lottery, right? And you could have $5 million and you could spend it all and literally a year later not have any money. You know, um, people are not stupid. We got to give them more credit than that. Maybe a little 10-year-old might follow her to the ends of the earth, but those 10-year-olds grew up. Those 10-year-olds are now 26, 27, 28, 29. If she's 36, then most of them have to be 26. Or no, they weren't even 10 years younger than her. If she was 10, she might have been 15. So most of her people that used to follow her and still love her are probably 30 now. So we got grown ass 30-year-old women that are like, you're a mean girl. And every one of us have been, I don't know about you, but I definitely was affected by mean girls in high school. I was quirky. I was awkward. I was even a cheerleader. And the other cheerleaders used to make me feel like shit. Yeah. And they were some funny looking bitches, making me feel like shit. I really loved being a teenager. I mean, a cheerleader. And then I got to college, Bronx community, and I maintained being a cheerleader there. Even became queen because I had to make up for all the mean girl shit that went out there. And then I became queen, and I don't think I was married yet. And there was this guy. His name was Brown. I think his first name was Steven. I don't, Steven, are you still alive from Bronx Community College? Um, if you're still alive, comment, right? And so I guess he kind of liked me. I met him on the first day and he kind of helped me. And I walk around with this innocent, like, oh my God, you should have seen when I landed in Jerusalem. The whole 2 busloads of people waiting for me because I'm just like, doop-de-do, doop-de-do. Didn't have anybody on the plane with me. And they tried to coordinate so that like people would be like, look for this person. Any case, I digress. But his last name was definitely Brown. I'll never forget that because my last name was Brown. And I hadn't been married yet, right? So I wasn't married yet. And he looked like he liked me. And then he was like teaching me like some of the courses that I couldn't get because I was so late to when you're new, you get leftover courses. That's what used to happen. I don't know what happens anymore. But in any case, he was like, well, you only got this amount of classes and you want to carry 12 credits. And I was like, I know, I wanted to carry 12 credits. And he's like, this class doesn't pick up until next fall. So you already missed out because this is full. So just pick something. So I think I took like a marketing class. Very good class to take, by the way. Marketing 101 might save your life someday, right? So I think I wound up taking a marketing class just because I didn't know anything about marketing, but I did learn something. And then I was crowned queen because of some essay that I wrote. I was really good at this shit, right? And so they had a whole ceremony. And to this day, I'm in like the book, the whatever the book is. I'm in some book in the uh, whatever it is, college, book, the hardcover book, and my pictures in there. Very nice black and white picture. I would love to see that picture again. And so when I got crowned, my boyfriend at the time, who I should have known, I should have never married that little bitch, didn't show. But I didn't know he was jealous of me. Like, I found out years later that he was jealous of me because I wound up switching colleges, um, going to City College. And then by this time, we were living in Jersey. And then he randomly enrolled in Montclair State College. But it was weird. He did it because he was following me, not because he wanted to attend Montclair State College. It doesn't really matter. But I wound up in City College. But he didn't come to the crowning. And so there was a party. And I told him, one thing, I've always been that girl, right? I'm going to a party. I'm not getting your permission. You need to know I'm going to a party. But if you want to meet me there and make sure I get home safely, come. But I'm going to the party anyway. So, of course, when you scare a guy like that, they show up at that motherfucking party. And then this guy, Steven, I think his name is Steven. His last name was Brown, but I don't remember his first name. He went up to my man and he was like, why weren't you here when she was crowned? And that taught me something. That made me look at him like, bitch. Now, I still married the jackass anyway, but little things like that, when you decide to get a divorce, look, I always remembered it, right? Little things like that is like why, like, ultimately I made my decision, because I would recall these memory points and I would be like, I don't think he ever loved me. Anywho, how did we get there? I don't know how. I just like to tell stories. Y'all are just stuck with years and years of stories in my head. Thank you, Vid Game Chicks. Call me for your own personal reading, 213-458-7408. I am still open because I stay open for Pacific Coast because they're 4 hours behind me. All right. All the little things add up to big ones. That's what I'm trying to say. Yes. And that was a big one before marriage. That was a big one. And had I listened, I would have never married that bitch. I would have just lived with him. But back in the day, living with someone wasn't a thing. But he did live with me for 2 years. And then I said to him, how long is this going to go on? I was so bossy. And he was like, what do you mean? I was like, you think I'm the type of girl that's just going to live with you? How long is this going to go on? You got 2 options. You find your way to marriage, or you could get out. I was living in the middle of Harlem where crack paraphernalia was found all over the place. I was kicking my boyfriend out. I was like, I will be fine. My rent was only $250. Seriously, back in the day, I don't know how they do it now, but you would apply for grants, pay for your credits, because you would go to college without paying in the beginning because you applied for grants, and the grants are guaranteed. So the grants then came in, right? But back in the day, college credits were only $12. I don't know what they are now, but they were so cheap. So your college would be paid for the semester. Now, the last time I went, they took monies for both. It doesn't matter, because then people were buying cars. I could have paid my rent for like ever, because it was something like, how much was grant? It was a lot. And then college was so cheap, but you kept the rest of the money. I didn't need that nigga living with me. No, I will find my ways. I told him, I was like, You might have to go. Period. Rent was only $250. Anyhow, I love a story time. Hi, brown sugar. So, in any case, so I give him the ultimatum and I was dead ass. And remember, the guy taught me when he was like, why weren't you here? Right? And I was like, why wasn't he here? I almost married the other guy. I swear to God, I want to know what he's doing for a living because I would guarantee he is successful. But so is my ex. He's very successful too. Anywho, so I told him, I was like, you got options. He proposed. He proposed. And then he proposed with like a little tiny chip of a diamond. They call it like a chip. And then I realized, oh, this man doesn't value me. Like I was a bitch. And so I accepted the proposal that night. And then I went back to him. I was looking at it. I was like, yeah, it's not big enough. I went back to him and I was like, I don't think the ring is big enough. The diamond. And he's like, well, that's all I have. Da, 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 da. So I lost the ring. The ring got lost. So now you have to buy a new one. The fuck I look like walking around. I mean, a little chip, a little tiny chip. You couldn't even tell it was a diamond. It looked like a very crystallized metal. No, I don't live that way. And so it got lost. I don't know how. So then we went to look for another diamond. And this time we went to some company that kept advertising diamonds. Don't go to those people because I think they still exist. And so we went there. They showed us one diamond. And it was big. It was 3/4. And it was like for $750, right? And I knew it was too cheap. I was like, I don't know if that's a good price for 3/4 diamond. And then we get it back, and the diamond had this big black thing in the middle of it, and it wasn't quite white. It was like dullish, but he had already paid for it. So I walked around with this diamond with this crap in it, and then that one got lost too. I just wasn't good with diamonds. So then we had to buy a third diamond. And then this one was just right. This one I liked. Now, this one only had a half diamond, but it was pretty. It was so pretty. And then he was paying it off. He's been paying off diamond for years. He was paying it off, but the wedding had come, and he still hadn't finished paying it off. But he convinced the guy to bring the diamond for the wedding, but he had to bring it back to pay it off. And then I said to him, because I'm a bitch, I was like, you don't have to bring it back. And he was like, yeah, we're not doing that. Give me the damn ring. So then he took the ring back. And before I let him take the ring out again, I went to the same jewelers and I said, I need 2 more diamonds on the side. So I wound up with a very beautiful diamond in the end. And then I discovered that diamonds come from hurt Africans. And so now I hate diamonds. I will not ever wear a diamond ever again in my life. Ever. It hurts my Black people. Oh, you remember me talking about the fucking diamond? Yes! I mean, I got stories to tell you. I wasn't about to walk around. Fucking Leo. Think I'm gonna walk around with a foggy fucking diamond? No. Now, I'm sorry if you're ignorant and you come from the hood. I did not. I'm sophisticated. I'm very sophisticated. And you gonna treat me as such. What did Charm say? Tracy has the best stories. We forget the show topic. We do forget the show topic whenever she starts to share. We do forget the show topics. Oh my God. Thank you, everyone. I love your stories. I love your stories. Oh my God. Okay, let's get back to Taylor Swift. Let me see, because this is so juicy. Okay, we did that one. Oh, I think I did this one too. No.
Taylor Swift acknowledging that she's Blake Lively's dragon and that Blake Lively is Khaleesi. Yes, these are text messages just dropped in the lawsuit, the ongoing lawsuit for It Ends With Us. Let's go. Taylor Swift saying, wow, I love how they used the song. Welcome to Hollywood, Justin. Yeah, that's Taylor Swift saying that. And then Blake Lively goes, I'm not okay. I can't breathe. I'm obsessed with you. I have never felt more like Khaleesi. I have dragons, except my dragons are bred with Cersei herself. Damn, that's evil. So then Taylor Swift says, I'm just picturing you muttering Dracarys, and then I fire off those texts to Austin. Just going to remind you guys how Taylor Swift was saying that she felt manipulated and that she was not Blake Lively's dragon. Just one of many headlines. Then Taylor Swift is giving Blake Lively advice on how to take over this movie, okay? She says, by the way, if Justin was strategic, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer, because that gives you power over the film and that's your ally, not his. Yeah, Taylor Swift just told her how to get power over the film. Then Blake Lively says, get yourself a best friend who thinks like the actual Roman Empire. Wow, these two. And then Taylor Swift says his misogyny runs so deep he thinks women are incapable of winning chess matches or making long game power plays. So this was a long game power play. They were in cahoots for a long time. And then Blake Lively says, you are so right and so wickedly smart to call it. He should have run from your music. I never thought about that, but holy shit, how stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of an upper hand. You guys, these two monsters were in cahoots together from the beginning. Gotta say something, okay? I just gotta get it off my chest. First slight second, I felt bad for Blake Lively, but then I remembered, no, I called this way back when. I said that Taylor Swift was just trying to save her reputation, that she was in cahoots from the beginning, that they were both monsters. But then when shit hit the fan, Taylor Swift was like, oh, no, I'm innocent. I was manipulated by Blake Lively. I didn't do anything. It was all Blake Lively, and everybody believed her, right? But now we see that they were in on it together, and then Taylor Swift is the one who turned her back on her friend. Yeah, they were doing evil shit together, but Taylor Swift, in my opinion, she's worse.
One of the things that I appreciate about celebrity lawsuits is that they are a great chance to increase the public's education level. There are new documents that have been unsealed in the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni, It Ends With Us trial, and as these documents become unredacted, including Taylor Swift's text messages, I'd like to talk about the number of things that we've learned from this trial. Regardless of whose side you're on, I think there's a couple of things that the public is going to learn from this trial, including but not limited to. Number one, there is a large amount of PR spin and crisis communication that goes into everything that you see in media, whether it involves celebrities or not. When this saga started to roll out in the beginning of this lawsuit, we heard everything about Stephanie Jones and her PR team and the text messages getting released, really showing you the depth to which everything you see in media is calculated. And I hope that teaches people to increase their media literacy. Number two, with Taylor Swift having her actual text messages with Blake Lively be released, I hope people understand the importance of information and the methods you choose to share it. Because while everybody understands a digital footprint and that nothing that you put out online goes away, people don't understand the concept that anything you put in writing can be subpoenaed. I really appreciate that the first place that I ever worked gave us a lesson, and they said, if you do not want what you do to end up on the cover of the Wall Street Journal, do not write it, do not do it. And I think that's a lesson that everybody should learn. It also is a lesson in how closely you should advise your friends when it comes to their professional matters. Because as much as Taylor Swift would like people to think that she wasn't involved, the text messages show a very different story. There's a fine line between maybe giving your friend some guidance on how they should write an email and really stepping in to use your power and undue influence to change a circumstance and an outcome for them in a professional workplace. Number 3, as people start to revisit the concept of the fact that Blake Lively brought a Title VII claim, which is between an employer and an employee, we're going to learn a lot about contract law and employment law. Namely, that if it is proven that she is actually an independent contractor, which everything that she put in writing to the PGA trying to get a producer credit made it seem like she's an independent contractor, she is not protected by Title VII claims. These are just a few of the things that have come up as important knowledge that the public can gain by paying attention to celebrity lawsuits. And if there's any pop culture topic that you are going to pay attention to, please let it be when a celebrity gets involved with a trial or the law, because there's a lot to learn.
Okay. Now, see, the word subpoena finally came up. Now, there is something to learn about what you put in text writing, even if you're talking to your best friend and you're like, that nigga, blah, 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 blah. Be careful. I have plenty of friends. And, well, I actually got caught out there. Oh, it's a long story. I don't want to tell that story because I just hate the 2 people that did this. But in any case, another story is, you guys know I do candle magic. And somebody said, could you do candle magic for me? And I said, of course, because I'm always doing, I don't know if you guys could see it right now. There's always some magic being done, right? So those are 3 candles being done right now, right? And so somebody said, can you do the magic? And I said, absolutely. She already paid me for it. And then by accident, she sent me a picture. And it was an accident. I did not ask for a picture. If you've done magic with me before, I do not do magic on anyone. I only do it on you. That's it. But she sent me a picture. And when she sent me the picture, all bets were off. Because now my heart panicked. Like, I panicked. I said, oh my God, why did she send me this picture? And so I text her and I said, no, you sent me a picture? And she tried to explain like why she sent the picture. And I said, I cannot do the magic now because your intentions are gonna impede the candle. I could do a candle on you. I cannot have any other interference. And this now, this, see, I'm very smart, right? So now this text exchange is in my phone. So if they were to subpoena me, I made sure that I showed in my text messages, absolutely fucking not. I said, I will refund you the money, but I will not do the candle. And that was because of this Blake Lively, Taylor Swift, and messages being subpoenaed. You're not about to get me up in jail. Fuck that. Nope. So I had to cancel it. True story. That happened recently. So watch what you say in your text messages. It's not funny. Because you never know. Nowadays, your digital footprint is already being seen by people. You don't know who's watching. You don't know who's protected. Like, You don't know if something's going to happen. You're going to get into somebody else gets in trouble, but your name gets dragged up. And nope, nope. I'm warning all of you. Y'all got best friends that y'all say all kinds of shit to. Stop. Stop. It is not worth it. No, are you kidding? People in the hood have the most problems. We just don't see it publicly. Right, Desiree? Don't trust no one. Mm-mm. Well, one bone of contention is that Blake refused to sign the employment contract and held up production. So I don't think she was an employee like the video said. Hmm. They're trying to say she was contracted anyway. That's what they're really trying to say, that she never was an employee, that she was contracted to do a particular job. So she never signed the contract. Lord have mercy. She was plotting from day one. All right, let's continue. I love these videos, by the way. Today, I love these videos.
Y'all, Taylor Swift is just not having a good year, is she? I really don't like to get involved in this whole case regarding Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. There's a reason I never covered it on this page. I don't know who's right or wrong, so let me be clear, because I don't keep up with the case. But what I do want to talk about is, in the context of everything going on with Taylor Swift, how this is not great for her. I will say these text messages that came out, I did read them. I don't think that they're that crazy. You know, like if you just look at it by itself as an isolated incident and you don't connect it to everything going on with her brand, it just gives off like, you know, she's just throwing shade with her friend, which, child, we've all talked shit with our friends or thrown shade. But I want to keep making the point, regardless, like Taylor could be completely innocent and Blake Lively could be completely right. I don't know, once again, because I don't follow the case. It wouldn't change the fact that this is bad press for her. From a PR standpoint, this isn't good because I just don't think there's been positive press surrounding her for a while. Like even with Travis Kelce, which was like the big, like, you know, push that was being done over the last, like, I would say 2 to 3 years, that has been the push. Like Travis Kelce, she's getting engaged, she's gonna have her fairy tale wedding, but now all that's going to shit too in the press. They're saying that they're having their first big like relationship like hurdle, and that, you know, she's trying to cater his feelings to lift his mood because he's not in a good mood right now because he may be retiring from the NFL. And a lot of people think that this wedding's not going to happen. So overall, Taylor Swift, I think she really made a big mistake by overly involving herself in things. This should be a lesson on, like, sometimes you need to just not. And if you are going to open your mouth, open it for something that's productive, because when we needed her to be loud, she was quiet. And when we didn't need her to be loud, she was loud. So either way, Taylor, it ain't looking good, babes. And I can't help you because we tried to help you. We tried to tell you and you didn't give a fuck. So you will figure this out on your own. You're on your own, kid. You always... But let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. I would love to hear your opinions on the case, the ones that actually are invested in this and have done all of the research on what your opinions are in the comment section below. And make sure to follow me for more pop culture content.
Oh, it is getting real messy when it comes to Blake Lively and Taylor Swift's text messages being released. On April 12th of 2023, Blake Lively asked Taylor Swift for help, referring to Justin Baldoni as this doofus director of my movie. She went on to describe him as a clown who thinks he's a writer now. She asked Taylor Swift to endorse her revised script that she was proposing, even if she didn't read it. In Blake Lively's deposition, she said, "I sent Taylor the script on her way to my apartment because Justin was still there. I asked her to read them. I told her she didn't have to. I didn't want her to feel pressured to do that, but I hoped that she would." Taylor Swift responded to Blake Lively by saying, "I'll do anything for you." Blake Lively and Taylor Swift met with Justin Baldoni at Blake Lively's apartment, where Taylor Swift endorsed the revised draft. After the meeting, Blake Lively wrote to Taylor Swift, "You were so heroic today. I recapped every moment to Ryan, and I kept remembering stuff. You make up shit about me and lenses, and referring to yourself as my doll. This clown falling for all of it, but resisting it. You are the world's absolute greatest friend ever. Blake Lively urged Hoover, as well as her famous friends Matt Damon, Lucy Damon, Ben Affleck, Bradley Cooper, and Taylor Swift to support her version of the film over Justin Baldoni's. In text messages from April 26 of 2024, Blake Lively and Taylor Swift discussed a plan to use Taylor Swift's song in the film's trailer. In these text messages, Taylor Swift wrote, "If Justin was strategic, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer, because that gives you more power over the film. That's your ally, not his." Blake Lively responded to her saying, "You are so right. He should have run from your music. How stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of the upper hand." And on December 4th and 5th of 2024, it was believed that Blake Lively and Taylor Swift were privately discussing the forthcoming New York Times article. Taylor Swift said in a text message, "I think this B knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin." And what's really got a lot of the fans tapped in right now with Taylor Swift is she brings this tiny violin reference up in her song called Cancelled. Pre-chorus, "Did you make a joke only a man could? Were you just too smug for your own good? Or bring a tiny violin to the fight? Baby, that all ends tonight. Good thing I like my friends canceled. Canceled. I like them cloaked in Gucci and in Scandal." Yeah, I ain't even gonna lie, these text messages between Khaleesi and her dragons is pretty crazy. But y'all let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
The Taylor Swift and Blake Lively text messages are finally here, and they are so bad. And we haven't even gotten everything yet. It appears Taylor Swift was a lot more involved than she initially claimed, including the New York Times article. So referring to the New York Times article, Taylor texted Blake saying, "I think this bitch," referring to Justin Baldoni, "I think this bitch knows something is coming because he's gotten out his tiny violin." And apparently that text exchange was from early December. We know the article dropped in late December, which shows that there was some collusion, there was some planning for weeks. And remember, Baldoni was only contacted right before the article was set to drop. He had less than 24 hours to respond. I think they gave him, 13 hours, and it was overnight. Then there's the use of Taylor Swift's song in the It Ends With Us trailer, where they say that Baldoni was stupid to let Blake use Taylor's song in the trailer. Taylor wrote Blake, "If Justin was strategic, he would be like, no Taylor Swift in the trailer," referring to herself in third person. "No Taylor Swift in the trailer because that gives you, Blake, more power over the film, and that's your ally, not his." And Blake responds, "You are so right. He should have run from your music. How stupid. This was his only shot at having the appearance of an upper hand." And remember, Blake Lively's whole argument is that she had no power on the set. He was the director and the producer and the lead actor. She had no power over this film. Blake also refers to Justin Baldoni as a doofus director and a clown when asking Taylor to endorse her script rewrites. And she even told Taylor, "You don't even need to read the script rewrites, just endorse them for me." And of course, Taylor agreed. And the whole narrative about Taylor not supposed to be at that meeting that Blake was having with Baldoni, remember, she just happened to get there and the meeting was still going on, so then Taylor happened to weigh in. Apparently that wasn't true. It was planned. And Taylor even tells Blake that she would do anything for her. These girls are sick. And after the meeting, Blake texted Taylor and she wrote, "You were so epically heroic today. I recapped every moment to Ryan. I kept remembering stuff. You making shit up about me and lenses and referring to yourself as my doll. This clown falling for it, but also resisting it. You are the world's absolute greatest friend." Listen, I'm doing a full breakdown of all of this on the podcast today. It's wild. She loops in Matt Damon, Bradley Cooper, Ben Affleck. We also have text messages with her and Liz Plank, her and Jenny Slate. We have Colleen Hoover's deposition, so much to get into. So just know, this week on the podcast, be sure to listen to No Filter with Zach Peter, breaking it all down. Oh.
Okay, so coincidentally, Noah said Taylor was announced to be inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. And then AMC says mine has a has a spec too. We couldn't tell at the store because they put the lighting very specifically, because you can only see it when it's dirty. That's a damn shame. In the store, the way those diamond stores are set up is so they look prettier. All right. Final outcome. Did we do? Oh, what do you mean final outcome? Tracy, let me just do. We're already at an hour and a half, but I've got to do this reading because I want to know if Taylor's people. I know I was shuffling the wrong set of cards. It didn't feel right. I want to see if Taylor's people are going to turn on her. All right. That's what I really want to see. But while you wait for me to shuffle, please, let me see, where's VidGame Chicks? Please call me for your own personal reading, 213-458-7408. Support is free, so please like, comment, and subscribe. We've got a lot of videos to cover, especially in Trump world. You gotta, can you move? Jesus Christ. Move. Thank you. Thank you. Will Swifties turn on their master? Do y'all want to be mean girls for the rest of your lives? Do you want to like a mean girl as a leader? Like, y'all are grown-ass women now. Like, what do you want? And her last album sucked. So how do you follow somebody that, one, is such a mean girl, and two, made the worst album of her career? Please, God, talk to me. Talk to me about Taylor and her Swifties. Please allow me to see anything and everything that you would like for me to see. Taylor is your love. She is your beloved. Please, Father God, authorize authorize me to see and say what you would like for me to say and see. I love you, God. I love you, Jesus. In your name I pray. Amen. Amen. Ashe. All right. My eyes are straining for some reason. New comment. Thank you, VidGame Chicks. I'll just put the new one down. It was a clear white circle. Oh, there was an orb at 10:26. I'm going to look again, Melissa. Oh, I love that. And coincidental was, I love that, Melissa. I'm going to check. I'm going to check at the time that you wrote it. So probably at 10:25, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Let's lower the stage. But I have my cat's ass in the video. This is her ass. Oh, and we have a card missing. So I'm going to pull this because it was sitting under her. Oh, they don't like that she is showing her corrupt, immoral behavior. They don't like that she lied. They are going to leave. All right. They have already started to walk away starting today. I don't know what's, oh, she's a Sagittarius, but there's a woman in the picture, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. She has to reinvent herself. She has to somehow reinvent herself. And it would be better if you didn't play the, sweet country girl antics. It's not working. It's a waiting period, but it could take about 18 months for all the Swifties to be gone. All right. I'm getting the Chariot. She, too, is going to move on to something else. It won't be marriage, that's for sure. I don't know what sign Kelsey is, but there is a sacrifice that's going to go on here. Taylor, I actually get that you're gay. I think I get that you're gay. I think that you're gay. I think that I think your relationship broke up because Kelsey saw that this was coming down the pike and just could not stand to constantly nurture you. Um, I think yet another man has failed you. I think you do much better with women. Um, I think there might be some text messages out there with you saying how much you hate men or calling them the worst names ever. Somebody's got some text messages out there, child. Um, I think I so I'm gonna help your career now. I think, there's a IG post out there right now where somebody will show their face and then it transforms into this dark vixen. The hair is shorter, it's straighter. They end up with blue eyes, which I fucking hate that, but I love the black lipstick, right? I think that you can salvage this. I think you're just done playing the little girl role. And I think it's like Beyonce Sasha Fierce. I think you need to grow up and show a side that's a little bitchy and let people know, yeah, I will fuck you over. I just think it's time. And I think you would fit in with society better. And I think that there are women out there that's like, yeah, I want to be that way too. So I think you're missing out on a whole market. I think your last album as a showgirl was stupid. Like your marketing people are beginning to fail you. Like you're paying them to make you look stupid. I think you're better than this. I also think you didn't put any effort into the album or the videos. Like you literally thought shaking your ass was a little bit worthy, and it was lackluster. It wasn't like the way you moved in those videos, and in some videos you didn't even move at all. The cancel video was all about kaleidoscope. Like, stop trying to fucking trick us. Um, I think you are not showing your womanly side as opposed to the almost woman. Like, that's what I'm getting, the almost woman side. So, God forbid you should show any goddamn hips. You know, you're darker than that, you're uglier than that. People now see that. And unfortunately, unless you like not growing into that space, that's what's hurting you. It's like Raven Simone. She could have stayed cute, little, cute, and witchy, or she could have fucking grew up. And what she did was shave off the side of her head to let people know. And then she came on The View to remind people, I'm intelligent, I'm grown, I have a voice. So I think that there is a way to turn this around. I really do. I think authentic Taylor um, needs to be seen. So now I'm wondering, like, dead ass, do you need to put out a podcast? And do you need to like verbally be real and authentic and be like, I hate that shit. I hate when people, I mean, I've seen you on other people's podcasts, and the minute somebody brought up about you being married and retiring, you turned into this dark vixen. Like, why do I have to do that? I think you're giving yourself away. And the power is to bring people to you. So if you're going to be dark, dark lighting, have things to say, I can't see how you could ruin your career if you just showed up as authentic Taylor in a podcast that you own, that you do once a month until you're comfortable. Then you might want to do it once a day. I don't know. But I think you're missing out on your own development. And I think the way that people can see you develop is if you allow yourself to just be real. And that can be done in a podcast where you can just have normal conversations about what is going on in the world. And you could laugh at things, or you could be like, oh, look, did you see when the elephant threw the tiger? And I know it's an AI video, but that's my kind of, like, no one gets to know the real Taylor because your fucking team at this stage has fucked you over and won't allow you to be a fucking woman. Now, you're a bitch. You better come out as a proud bitch, babe. And Taylor, I know you watch me. And I know, like, you don't want to listen to me. And I get that. But your own people are bailing on you. They want to keep you a little girl because that's how white society likes to keep their women. You're better than that. And at the very least, if you were authentic, like really authentic, and these text messages came out, you would have been like, and that's me. But you can't say that because you've been playing this innocent little girl role for all of America. And America has grown up. They're all grown now. No one acts like you. So it's time for you to be a better you, even if it means it's dark you. We just want to see you. It's exhausting not being yourself. I should know. I've been hiding being a psychic for years. But once I let loose, it was beautiful. Let's see. Travis is a Libra. Oh, that's interesting. That's how I knew this was well coordinated. Libras don't break up so easily. Libras don't break up so easily. So, but unless it's coordinated. And if it's coordinated, Libras get very bored easily. That was so mean of Taylor and Blake bully Justin. Yeah, it really was. She wanted to act like Sabrina Carpenter or Addison Rae. I don't know these people, but are they mean girls? Let me just pull a few more cards for everyone, but we pretty much got our answer. Her people are not going to follow her. They're too grown for this shit. They're not interested because they're too grown. Yeah, they don't like the fact that you're hiding your true self. They're going to start keeping their monies to themselves. And you're going to have to fight to get them back. You're going to have to fight to get them back because they now don't like you. Oh, there's a legal situation coming to you, Taylor. It won't dip into your finances, but there's a man coming to you. I wonder if it's Justin. There's somebody coming for your money. There's another woman here. Ships are coming in. Very confusing. You have a female, maybe a female post friend that is coming to the table, but she's only going to make things worse for you. You better talk to your former friends and tell them shut the fuck up. But please do not text them. Please call them. Taylor, this is karma. You did something. You hurt some people. You hurt publicly. You hurt 3 people publicly. Do you guys know who they were? 3 people got hurt publicly by Taylor. I know Selena is one. Who else? Who else? Because this is karma, sweetie. This is karma. And karma is going to make sure you have a public lashing. And to be honest with you, she might be a narcissist as well. Narcissistic behaviors is very common. I'm not diagnosing her, but she might be a little unhinged. Um, was she going to get into acting? Because if there's a project out there, people may not go to the project. If there's an acting project out there, people may not attend. So I hope it's something like Star Wars where people would just attend anyway. But if it's something where they're like, oh, Taylor Swift, they won't go. I said acting, but they're still showing me her music. Directed projects. Hold on. All right. Oh, has production started on Taylor Swift's movie? There's been no announcement about Swift's feature in terms of production. However, fans noticed in August 2025 that a directed projects section had appeared on her website, which included a number of music videos Swift wrote and or directed. All right. All right. Well, she's not that creative. Creative. All right. There's a woman around you, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn woman, that is going to come out against you. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn woman. So things are going to happen very quick, very fast. You might have to fire some people to hold on to your income, by the way. You might have to get rid of some people. People just don't like your sneakiness. You're going to be stressed. People don't like your sneakiness. Oh, there's a fire sign woman, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, that's going to say something against you. And then there's a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn woman that's going to blow this shit wide open about you, Taylor. And it has something to do with money. You prevented someone from either working on a project or prevented some money. So your mean girl antics are going to show up again, sweetie. Again, it's going to show up. So I think it used to be the former posse that you used to run with, and y'all don't talk anymore. Do you even have friends, Taylor? Blake is a Virgo. She has like 4 planets in Virgo. Oh, wow. Virgos can catch revenge. So it'd be interesting if it's her. What happened, Melissa? So those ladies are awful, but is Justin a nice guy? Asking sincerely. I never heard of him before. I think I'm not getting that he's a bad guy, right? I never got that, not even in this reading. So I think he was a guy that was just trying to make a film. I don't think it was about him showing himself as ugly. Like, she never said that. You know, she would call him out his face, but never said he's mean and horrible to work with because he's farting or he's nasty or he yells at us. So I would have to say he's a fairly decent guy because nothing in her text messages insinuated otherwise. And that's what you kind of have to like go further and look, that nothing in anything I showed you tonight, all of the clips from other people's IGs and TikTok, none of them ever said in any of those text messages that he was a bad guy. So that means these girls are just mean girls, just trying to fuck him over because she wanted producer credit. No, at this stage of the game, if it was Disney, it would have been here already. Like, remember when The Mermaid came out? They announced that 3 years in advance. And then when the movie was made, it took them a year to bring that movie out because they needed to promote a Black Mermaid. So, no, if it was Disney, Disney's got their stuff already, like slated to be made, slated to be pushed out. So, definitely not a Disney movie, although she would be good for a Disney movie. She would be great as a Cinderella type of movie. But now that we know her character, she would be a great Cinderella sister. So if they were to remake the Disney movie from the perspective of just the sisters, Taylor would be a great character for that. She's mostly narcissist, right? Which what narcissist people do, right? They're always innocent. It's not me, it's her. She triggered me. She this to me. He did, nightmare. Narcissists are nightmares. There's nightmares. And oh, did I tell you nice narcissists were gonna go away though? Not this generation, not the Taylor Swift generation, which where I think most of the narcissists are. They're in this generation, and above, this generation and above. But I never heard of narcissistic type personalities unless we're just in full awareness because of digital. But what I saw, I think, today is that the narcissistic personality is going to disappear. It can't stay. It can't stay. It's too much, and the section that's coming down is not co-signing with all of that ugly. Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that. Disney doesn't employ people without voices. She always has to beat everyone's record. She recently joined Aaliyah, having the only single to reach number one without sales. I had to roll my eyes. Wow. Oh, what deck do I use? I use the Witch's Tarot. And to get a final outcome, I use Carolyn Miss Archangel cards. What? Right side up. Hero, heroine. Passion for a journey of personal empowerment. Taylor, turn your life around. You want to be looked upon as one of the greatest. And you're like Nikki. I don't know what's going on with Sages, but a couple of you Sages are falling bad. Those in the public, because Sages are supposed to have a good year. So what happened? What happened? So now I'm wondering if you reached your height, do some Sages fall? And those that are low lying level, do they rise? Because you're the second Sag that's having some public issues. Very interesting. You and Nikki. But let me read it. Hero, heroine. She wants to be the hero in somebody's story. I get that. But you can't be a mean girl and a hero. It doesn't go together, child. Confronts increasingly difficult obstacles to awaken an inner spiritual power and achieve a heroic vision that ultimately serves the tribe. You can't act like, you have to be like. So, I don't know, sweetie. Conquer survival fears that might compromise the journey of empowerment. Look for a history of facing and overcoming odds in both material and spiritual realms. Oh, Taylor. Taylor, you fucked up. Whatever Kanye West did to boost your career, you single-handedly ruined it. You weren't ready for the fame. Kanye handed it over to you by impeding upon a poor 16-year-old. That I get. He brought you to the top because white folks don't play about their own kind. And you took advantage of that privilege and thought you would always be liked. So your head was ballooned from that moment with Kanye. And now, sweetie, you are on your own. And everything you do is on you. And what you did, canoodling and coordinating with Blake Lively with those damn text messages, this is on you. Good luck. Wow. All right, guys. She got a bad ego, professional victim. She's over. We're not going to talk about Saggies. We talked about Saggies earlier, child. These Saggies giving us a bad name. They are. I was like, we're not going to talk about Saggies. No. Hi, sweet butter baby. I love that name. Will the nuke Taylor and Blake? Yes, this will nuke their careers. I didn't look at Blake's because I don't give a fuck about Blake. Blake looks like an old woman that's 50 years old trying to play, 35. I don't give a fuck about Blake, but definitely Taylor. Yes, that makes sense. That's what she wants to be. Thank you. Oh, thank you. It's real. You're quite welcome. All right. Call me for your own personal reading, y'all. 213-458-7408. Please like the video. Please subscribe. We got a lot of things to cover. Stay with me, y'all. Stay with me. Love you guys. Take it easy. Bye.
In the heart of the city, there's a lady so divine, with a gift so rare she can read between the lines, unlocking mysteries. She's the one we all admire. With a touch of magic, she sets our souls on fire. From psychic readings to rosemary oil so pure, her spirit shines bright. Of that I am sure. On TV she graces the screen with grace. Her presence is a blessing in every time and place. Pop culture psychic, in tune with the stars. She sees beyond the veil, even beyond Mars. And when the night falls, Tracy after dark, her wisdom illuminates like a powerful spark. So if you seek guidance, look no further than her door. Tracy Brown live where wisdom does soar. Through the realms of the unseen, she'll light your way. With every word she speaks, darkness turns to day. Tracy Brown live, the beacon of light, guiding us through the shadows of night. Her voice like a melody, so pure and strong. In her presence, we know we belong. From psychic readings to rosemary oil so pure, her spirit shines bright. Of that I am sure. On TV, she graces the screen with grace. Her presence is a blessing in every time and place. Pop culture psychic, in tune with the stars. She sees beyond the veil, even beyond Mars. And when the night falls, Tracy after dark, her wisdom illuminates like a powerful spark. So if you seek guidance, look no further than her door. Tracy Brown live where wisdom does soar. Through the realms of the unseen, she'll light your way. With every word she today. Tracy Brown lit the beacon of light, guiding us through the shadows of night. Her voice like a melody, so pure and strong. In her presence, we know we belong. Tracy Brown lit the beacon of light, guiding us through the shadows of night. Her voice like a melody, so pure and strong. In her presence, we know we belong.